Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to episode 54 of the Snowflake's Corner, where we cover news from outside the UK. I have 6 stories for you guys, but we're going to be doing something a little bit different today, which I'll get into shortly, guys. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. The Twitch chat is up and running this time. I had problems yesterday, but I got it up this time, which is great, guys. So very, very good. For that is up and running, thank God, because it wasn't up last time around. So we're going to be listening to some comments that Donald Trump has made in he had a conference today, a speech today. He was talking to media and saying some things, so we're going to be covering that very shortly. So this is kind of like a bit of a Snowflake watch into Snowflake Corner sort of thing, because I've gotten, there's going to be so much we're going to be talking about tomorrow on Snowflake Watch. I just can't bunch it all into that, so we're going to do some of that we're going to do some of that now, and I'm actually tempted to do a Snowflake. I might do a Snowflake edition. I'm definitely tempted to do a live stream on Thursday as well, because I think there's so much to talk about. There's just not enough time to cover it all, guys. Lishkin, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Billy Kershaw as well. Good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Steve McMahon, good morning, my friend. Thank you so much for the 2 New Zealand dollars. Much appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much for your support. You've been very generous, my friend. Anybody else wants to help reach the super chat target? We got a whole hour to reach that target, so we just need 4 more super chats, and we will do a Q&A live stream on Friday, guys. So Jeannie Bottle, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well as well. Right, so let's get started, guys. So obviously before we do like I said, we're gonna do something a little bit different here today. So let me see if I can make sure that this is up and running. So I've not listened to all of these because I've been running around, but I wanted to I've got most of Donald Trump's clips from some of his comments. I'm going to start with this one first, and then we will respond in kind. I think is the best way to say that, guys. So this is the first one from Sky News, that the windmills are driving the whales crazy. Obviously, Donald Trump says windmills are littered across the US and describes them as garbage in a field. Dear God.
We're approaching the dawn of America's golden age. It's going to be a golden age for America. We have things that nobody else has. We have more natural resources. We have, number one, nobody knew that until I came along. I made it.
Apparently we didn't know. America never knew, guys, until Trump came along. America had no idea about the resources. Apparently so. Apparently he knew everything, guys. It all became to him. Oh.
Us number one. We're number 3. I made us number 1 in a very short period of time in drilling.
Didn't you make people worse off? Yeah, during your last presidency.
And you know, you can talk about windmills. They litter our country. They're littered all over our country. Like,
how do they litter the country? Based on what exactly? What exactly do they litter the country on? Like what?
Like dropping paper. Like dropping garbage in a field, and that's what happens to them, because in a period of time they turn to garbage. Most expensive energy ever. They only work if you get subsidy. The only people that want them are the people that are getting rich off windmills, getting massive subsidies from
this is so stupid.
The U.S. government, and it's the most expensive energy there is. It's many times more.
It's the most cheapest energy, and it's less emissions as well. This is complete BS from him.
Expensive than clean natural gas.
Clean natural gas. It's calling gas clean, guys. Gas is clean, apparently. You know, gas is clean. That's a new one. Madman, good to see you there, and anybody else who's lurking in the chats.
So we're gonna try and have a policy where no windmills are being built. You know, off the coast of New Jersey, they want to build like 200 windmills. The people are going crazy. Nobody wants them, and they're very expensive. They don't work without subsidy. You don't want energy that needs subsidy. Energy is a good business. You don't need subsidy. But when you build these massive towers, and they're 25 stories tall, 40 stories, they have 170 stories tall. The blades, they take 3 ships to ship them. It's crazy.
It's free energy. Sorry for shouting, guys. But it is. It's free energy. It's free energy. Oh, we'll get to that one, Ginny Bowl. Don't you worry. We'll get to that one. But it's free energy. It's free energy. We don't need to drill. We don't need to plow into it anymore. Wind and solar. It's free energy.
They're dangerous. You see what's happening up in the Massachusetts area with the whales, where they had 2 whales wash ashore in, I think, a 17-year period. And now they had 14 this season. The windmills are driving the whales crazy.
Now, I want to actually comment on this. So there may be some truth to that. With something to do with the propulsion that the winds make that may disrupt their sonar of whales. It's possible. So I know that sounds crazy, but that thing may be possible. Just going to put that out there.
Obviously. And they had actually
obviously.
I think 125 or something over a number of years. And
or we could just say it's actually because of the climates that have been changing that are the main reason why why whales are dying off.
we don't want that to happen. It's a disaster it's amazing the way a true environmentalist would say, oh, we love wind. It sounds good, but that's about where it ends. You know, after 10 years, you have to redo them. And what happens is they don't do that. They let them stand and they rust, and they say, because of the environment, I'm not a believer in this, but they say you can, because it's a certain fiberglass, that the blades cannot be buried in earth, that's an environment. So what do you do with them? What do you do with them? And I don't know if you've ever gone to Palm Springs, California, or any of these places where you have long-term windmills standing. They're a disaster. They're rusting, rotting, closed, falling.
It does. Yeah. Okay. Again, I have to stress this term. It is free energy. This is free energy, not energy you're pumping out of the ground, not a liquid that you can have or a gas that that is polluted. This is free energy here. But people will buy into this. This is the problem. Because he's now going to president, people will buy into anything that he's saying.
Down. This is as you enter Palm Springs. And they put new ones next to them because nobody wants to take them down, because why should they take them down? It's very expensive to take them down. And you can't do anything with them because the blades, you can't bury them because of the environmental protection. We'll look at that. Doesn't make sense, but that's what they say.
Why would you bury the blades? You would recycle it. Recycle them. That's what you would do. You would recycle them. I mean, God. Scientists said there is no evidence of windmills affecting whales. They have whales stranded all the time and no offshore wind farms. Okay. Well, that one I wanted to be very cautious about on that, but yeah, absolutely insane. This is another scary one. On January the 20th, we turned the economy around. Right now, when I think about the economy, I think of inflation. Trump looks ahead of what he hopes to achieve after his second inauguration. He hopes that the US is going to take off like a rocket ship.
So on January 20th, we'll turn the economy around very quickly, because right now we are...
Yeah, you heard that, right? Yeah, very, very quickly, guys. So literally, as soon as Trump comes in, the economy is going to go boom. It's going to skyrocket. You know, the cost of prices for every single American is going to go drop off a cliff, yeah? It's going to turn super cheap, yeah? It's going to go just like that. Just like that, guys. Just like that, yeah? That's what he's just literally said that. You know, it's going to take off, the US economy. It's going to take off like a rocket ship. And it's all going to go, and everything's going to go down. Everything's going to be all smiles and roses. Everything's going to be perfect, yeah, for Americans. The moment that he's sworn in as the next president, everything's going to be perfect. That is what's going to happen, guys. Joe, good to see you there. And Stephen Banker, good to see you both. Hope you're doing well.
When I think of our economy, I think about inflation. That's what we have. We have inflation, I believe, at a level that we never had before. There's never been anything like it. And over the next 4 years, the United States is going to take off like a rocket ship. But really, it's already doing it, if you take a look.
Yeah, I wonder who has been president for the last 4 years. Who would have done that? Are you going to credit Joe Biden? Are you going to credit Joe Biden for that? Something tells me he's not going to do that, guys.
Just last month, SoftBank announced the $200 billion. I think it'll be 200. He said between 100, and I said, how about making it 200? And he sort of said yes, but let's say it's 100, but it might be 200, right, Brian? Dollars, United States, creating more than 100,000 jobs. Hussein just announced a tremendous investment that he's going to make, and that's money that's in the bank. He's going to come and do it, and he'll do a great job, and he'll build the best centers in the country, I guarantee, because I know the way he builds.
Okay, sure, Trump. Sure. This is the one that Ginny Bottle mentioned in the comments earlier. No longer will there be a Gulf of Mexico, but the Gulf of America.
We have a massive deficit with Mexico, and we help Mexico a lot. They're essentially run by the cartels, and can't let that happen. Mexico's really in trouble, a lot of trouble. Very dangerous place. And we're going to be announcing at a future date pretty soon. We're going to change, because we do most of the work there, and it's ours. We're going to be changing, sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
Okay. And I'm sure, yeah. Well, so what are you going to do? Just override Mexico completely here? Mexico was already there, you idiot, says Joe.
And it's appropriate. It's appropriate.
Why is it appropriate? Explain.
And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada, because Canada, they come through Canada too, and the drugs that are coming through are at record numbers.
I thought you were going to buy Canada.
Record numbers. So we're going to make up for that by putting tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Substantial tariffs. And we want to get along with everybody, but you know, they have to, it takes two to tango.
So he wants to get along with everybody. And what better way to get along with everybody? By imposing tariffs and telling Mexico, no, it's not your Gulf anymore. It's America Gulf, the Gulf of America. What a great way to build a relationship, guys. It's really, really great way of building a relationship. I'm going to speed this one up. Like I said, we're not going to cover all the articles from today, but because I think this is probably worth more listening to and responding.
Do you know that I'm the president-elect of the United States of America? I'm a former, very successful president. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We had...
That's not what American people said.
Borders that were sealed and beautiful. Everything was good. We had no wars.
There was still wars taking place under your presidency, for the record. Rosemary, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well.
We defeated ISIS. We had no wars. Now I'm going into a world that's burning with Russia and Ukraine, with Israel. You took a look at that attack on October 7th, the attack on Israel, with the horrible way they got out. Not the fact that they got out. I would have been out before them, but we would have been out of Afghanistan with dignity and strength, as opposed to looking like a bunch of fools with 13 dead and many, many badly, horrifically injured. Nobody ever talks about them.
You set it up. Your administration were the ones who made set it up all in the first place. Your administration were the ones who set it up. Yeah, for Afghanistan. Yes, Biden needs to take the blunt of it. He should have delayed it. He should have delayed it. Joe Lefty, good to see you there in the chat. Hope you're doing well.
No arms, no legs. Nobody ever talks about them. The way they got out was outrageous, leaving billions of dollars of brand new military equipment that I bought in the hand.
You bought? You mean American taxpayers? Taxpayers funded. You didn't buy it. Yeah, let's be clear about that.
Hands of the Afghans, and specifically the Taliban. It's the group. And we were doing very well. We would have been out. We would have been respected. I think it's one of the reasons it was so badly handled, that withdrawal, where people are jumping onto airplanes, falling off the sides of airplanes when they're 3,000 feet in the air. And nobody's ever seen anything like that, the worst. And because of that, I think Russia went and attacked Ukraine. When they saw that, they said,
what's Afghanistan got? Afghanistan's got nothing to do. What distinction of... someone, please explain the chat. What is the link of America withdrawing from Afghanistan got anything to do with Ukraine's war in Russia?
Said these guys are incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. But we know what we're doing now. And that's going to all end. And we have a great military. I defeated ISIS, as you know. We're in no wars.
I defeated ISIS. he defeated ISIS. No, there's still ISIS insurgents in the world. There's still some in different parts of Africa. Like, you didn't defeat ISIS.
Finished a couple. And we got also our soldiers guarding Syria and Turkey. We're in the middle. We had 5,000 soldiers. They would have been gobbled up with two armies. We had one army, 300,000. We had another one, 500,000 or 600,000. Getting ready. We had 5,000 people in the middle. I said to a general, how do 5,000 people do in that case? And the general just looked at me and said, not well, sir, not well. And I took him out. And you know what happened? Nothing. I got criticized. I saved 5,000 lives, actually. And we did a great job, and we're going to do an even better job because now we have a tremendous amount of experience. We have people that I can rely on.
People that I can rely on, because obviously the last group of people weren't reliable. I mean, how I wonder how many people will actually turn their back on Trump in this as well, in doing so. Very good, Tugs of War. How are you doing? Isn't there usually some more chatters here? There's more. We have more chats on the YouTube than on the Twitch, I'm afraid. Trump looks like Dennis the Menace after being rationalized by the flat earthers. Jal says, let's go around changing names and establish landmarks because you think you can. Go take 2 Fs to yourself, Orange One, if you're going to bring your country down. They will not. They think the price. They think their grocery prices are going to go down under Trump. He's literally saying on day one, I'm going to boost the economy. It's going to boost the economy. You stirred a wasp nest, and now we're all taking the brunt from you, Orange Goblins, says Jal. I know, it's absolutely insane. He's going to reverse Joe Biden's law here.
President Biden's actions yesterday on offshore drilling, banning offshore drilling, will not stand. I will reverse it immediately. It'll be done immediately. And we will drill, baby, drill. And we're going to be drilling in a lot of other locations. And the energy costs are going to come way down. They'll be brought down to a very low level.
They won't. I bet $5 they will not go down.
And that's going to bring everything else down. That's what caused it to go up, along with the ridiculous spending on the Green New scam. All this money, trillions of dollars. It's like throwing it right out the window, what they're doing. And they're trying to spend so much now. They're just taking money and giving it to anybody that wants it for any project at all, if it's certified under the Green New scam. And they don't work, and it's too expensive.
Green New scam. What a terrible, terrible man. This man is going to destroy. He's going to damage the global economy so badly. He's going to be responsible for so many lives lost. So many people are going to die as direct results of his words and actions. It's really, really sad. This was a very odd one here.
But that's not the way life works.
Mr. President, two questions related to each other. First, you said on your first day of office you're going to pardon January 6th defendants. Are you planning to pardon those who were charged with violent offenses?
Well, we're looking at it, and we have other people in there. And as you see, I guess 24 or 28 people came now from the FBI. That came out very quietly. Nobody reported it, but they had people in some form related to the FBI. They had 4 or 5 people that were strongly related to the FBI. We have to find out about that. We have to find out about Hezbollah. We have to find out about who exactly was in that whole thing, because people that did some bad things were not prosecuted. You know, I see it all the time, and you see it too. People that were doing some bad things weren't prosecuted, and people that didn't even walk into the building are in jail right now. So we'll be looking at the whole thing, but I'll be making major pardons. Yes, please.
What's Hezbollah got to do with the January the 6th riots? Could someone explain? Oh, Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump. And that's just some of the clips. That is just some of the clips. Dear, oh dear, guys. Yeah. And we're going to be hearing this on a regular basis. I don't know if anyone I don't know if anyone asked him about, comments that Elon Musk has made about the UK and whatnot. I don't know if he's asked that. So I've only gone by, like I said at the start, I haven't watched all those clips, but I just watched them with you guys. But yeah, it's pretty diabolical, that is for sure. We'll move away from that and look at the energy costs will go up as you have no regulations or price caps as corporations run the USA, not the government, and capitalization runs rife and that so-called land of the free. Yeah, all the money is just going to increase. The rich are just going to get richer. That's all it's going to be. This man is the proof that sometimes mutation in evolution is not beneficial for humankind. Yep. These are the people that banned Kinder eggs. That says it all. Drill Baby Drill in his bedroom talks to Melina. Sorry for the nightmare you are now imagining, says Junior Bottle. Okay, don't know why that came into your head. Sea levels are falling according to Trump. Sea levels are falling. Put him in a debate with one angry pagan and he'll say something different. Oh dear, guys. Right. As I said, yeah, we'll be covering plenty of stuff on the Snowflake Watch tomorrow. So those, I just wanted to put some clips in for you guys here. So let's crack on with some of the stuff we were meant to be covering. So we're going to start off with this one here. This article is from CNN. The headline is that UAE, the United Arab Emirates, said it has discussed a potential role in post-war Gaza, but conditions remain unmet. I mean, I've said this before and I've said this again. Like, Israel are not, even if Israel send delegates, to have some kind of talks with Hamas and whatnot about a potential ceasefire, they're not going to. They're only just doing it for face value. They're not doing it because they want one. They don't care about the hostages. They're just using it as a smokescreen, as a deliberate act to keep wiping out innocent Palestinians, as well as targeting Hamas. If there is, by some miracle, by the end of this year, if there is some miracle that some kind of ceasefire, some kind of peace agreement is secure, one of the main conditions must be is that Israel must no longer have full control of the borders of Gaza. They have to be. They cannot have full control. In my opinion, it should be the UN peacekeepers should be the ones in control, not Israel. Not Israel in any way, shape, or form. It should be them. But unfortunately, that is this is the situation that we are in. And the idea of had a mate before. Stephen Ramon, thank you so much for another $2 New Zealand dollars. Thank you. That's very kind of you. We are 3 super chats away from reaching the Q&A live stream this Friday, guys. So if anybody else wants to chip in, and I will host another live stream on Friday if we can achieve it. Thank you so much for your support. Let's read a bit more into this, you guys, from CNN. So the United Arab Emirates has been in discussion about the possibility of playing a role in post-war efforts to rebuild Gaza, but its conditions for doing so have yet to be met, a UAE official had told CNN. So Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has touted the UAE, Saudi Arabia and other countries as potential partners to help govern the territory after the war. But the UAE had previously said that it would refuse to be drawn into any plans aimed at providing cover for the Israeli presence in the Gaza Strip. Yeah, Israel cannot be in the Gaza Strip. Israel must not be a part of this in any way. Israel needs to be out of Gaza completely. While there have been many informal conversations taking place, parties involved have not aligned with the UAE's preconditions for its involvement in any post-war efforts in Gaza, the UAE official told CNN on Monday. The official was responding to a report by the Reuters news agency that behind-the-scenes discussions between the UAE, Israel and the United States, including the possibility of the UAE, the US and other nations temporarily overseeing governance, security and reconstruction of Gaza after the war. The UAE official told CNN its preconditions include a formal invitation form a new credible independent Palestinian Authority PA Prime Minister, a serious reform process in the PA, and explicit commitment to a two-state solution from Israel, and a clear leadership role by the US. The UAE has long advocated with reforms with the PA, which is widely perceived as plagued by corruption, and has called for a change in its leadership. Mohammed Mustafa was sworn in as the PA's Prime Minister in March, succeeding Mohammed Stekelar, who resigned in February. Israeli officials have publicly rejected the possibility of a West Bank-based PA playing a role in post-war Gaza. Reuters has also reported citing diplomats and Western officials. The UAE officials had suggested the use of private military contractors as part of peacekeeping force in Gaza. The UAE official who spoke on CNN refuted this. The UAE normalized relations with Israel in 2020 agreement known as the Abraham Accords and has maintained relations with it over the course of the Gaza war. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. We know Israel's position. Israel want control of the Gaza Strip. You know, I'm not buying any of this, guys. We have seen enough. We have seen more than our fair share. It will not be long before we hit past more than 50,000 deaths in Gaza. Last report, I was like 47,000. I would not be surprised if by the end of this month we hit more than 50,000 deaths in Gaza. Like that's like, it would not surprise me one bit. Would not. And we will, and it's no doubt that if this war continues between now and the end of 2025, we will have more than 100,000 deaths. Because that's how much that Israel hates, and I do use the word strongly, hates Palestinians. They don't hate. It's not Hamas they just hate. It's Palestinians. They hate them. This government and this IDF, they hate them. I'm not going to say that the public hate them. I'll say some of the public do, obviously, but they're the majority are being taught to think a certain way about Palestinians, and I've said this time and time again. But as for this, like this whole idea and project they have, like, I'm not buying any of it, because I just simply do not trust Israel to complete their obligations to it in any way, shape, or form. I just don't. I just think this is a dead duck story, and it's not really going to go anywhere, guys. But maybe some of you may disagree. The settlers already begin to build in their settlements. Who's going to take them out there? Exactly. They're already seasoned land. We know there's seasoned land there. We have to accept Gaza. It's lost the IDF have their mate in the US now. Yeah, I don't want to say that. I'm not going as far as saying that just yet, even though it seems very bleak. Another place that's in very, very bleak right now is Haiti, guys. This one is from hold on a second, just checking something. This one is from Al Jazeera. The headline is gang violence has killed more than 5,600 people in Haiti in 2024, the United Nations has said. The violent gangs control most of the Caribbean country's capital, Port-au-Prince. So for context, for those who don't know, I think most of those guys who are here in the chat will know about this situation in Haiti. We talked about it, that more than 70% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, has been overrun by gangs. Many parts of the country is under gang control. Many women have suffered immensely at the hands of some of these gangs. Many children and young men have basically gone into gangs because they literally have no jobs. There's no money. There's no economy. There's no work for them. So they go into these gangs because they offer them food. They offer them shelter. They offer them a gun. They offer them something, something with their lives, because they don't have anything. They don't. Some of them don't even have schools. Like, we've seen children as young as 10 holding guns for some of these gangs. Like, that's how crazy it is, and it's completely and totally out of control. And 5,600 people. Now, yes, in context, in terms of some of the other conflicts, yes, it's not as high, but that's so many innocent lives, so many people that have died needlessly because nobody has come up with a clear plan, a clear solution to deal with Haiti. And I know that it's a complex problem. I know there's lots of complications around Haiti, but I just think that there is so much corruption within the political sphere of Haiti that they just cannot get the basics needs for Haitian people, and that's the biggest problem for me. And until they get some form of functioning government, until they get some form of giving Haitian people some basic necessities, basic needs. It's not just about subduing the gangs and taking control of the city and the capital. It's all well and good taking them out and maybe winning gunfights here and there. That may benefit them, but it doesn't change anything. Doesn't change what's happening. Doesn't change that people are still suffering. It's not going to fix the problems. People are struggling. People can't barely get food. They're struggling to get by every single day. It's a nightmare for them. It's a daily basis this is happening for people in Haiti. Daily basis, guys. And more than 5,600 people were killed and thousands more injured or kidnapped in 2024. due to soaring levels of gang violence in Haiti, the United Nations has said. In a statement released on Tuesday, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, condemned the absolute horrors faced by the population of the Caribbean country, noting rights abuse and corruptions are also rife. Armed gangs maintain control of most of the capital, Port-au-Prince, following an outbreak of violence last year. At the same time, the police are also accused of perpetrating violence against gang suspects, as the ongoing conflict serves to make worse the political instability that has plagued the island nation for decades. And these figures cannot capture the absolute horrors being perpetrated in Haiti, but they show the unmitigated violence to which people are being subjugated, Volker has said. The UN statement noted that at least 207 people were killed in early December in a massacre orchestrated by the powerful leader Wolf Jarmin's gang in the Saif Salel area of the capital. Moreover, the UN Human Rights Office are also documented 315 lynching of gang members and people allegedly associated with gangs, on some occasions reportedly facilitated by Haitian police officers, and 281 cases of alleged summary executions involving specialized police units in 2024. I should just point out, actually, before we go any further, there may be some context in this there may be some context in this report that may be distressing for some people, possibly. So I'm just giving you a warning now. I should have said that sooner, because obviously when it comes to Haiti, some of the context is quite strong. So if you want to turn away from this, come back in about 5-10 minutes. It has long been clear the impunity for human rights violation, abuses as well as corruption remain prevalent in Haiti, Turk has said. Last November, the UN ordered the evacuation of its staff from Haiti's capital due to clashes between armed gangs, the police and civilians armed with machetes. However, the UN highlighted that it is not leaving Haiti, but only adapting its operations by moving its staff to safer parts of the country and others working remotely. Turk called for the National Police Force to hold accountable officers reportedly involved in rights abuses with international help. Restoring the rule of law must be a priority, Turk said, calling for the Kenyan-led UN mission tasked with quelling the violence to be granted the logistical and financial support it requires to successfully implement its mandate. A 430-strong UN-backed security mission comprised mostly of Kenyan police was sent last June to support Haiti's understaffed police department, but violence has continued to grow. Turk said the full implementation of UN Security Council mandate sanctions and an arms embargo must be used. They said it was supposed to be 1,000 UN, supposed to be up to 1,000 mostly, but that clearly hasn't happened. Weapons flowing into Haiti often end up in the hands of criminal gangs, with tragic results: thousands killed, hundreds of thousands displaced, essential infrastructure and services such as schools and hospitals disrupted and destroyed. He said, "Yeah, and this is the problem. No schools, no hospitals, basic services. If people, if there's no work, there's no job, there's no food." How are they supposed to make a living when their only option is to join gangs? The Haitian government, backed by the US and other Caribbean nations, has also been calling for the UN Security Council to authorize full-scale peacekeeping operation. But China and Russia, permanent members of the Security Council, have opposed the move, insisting that efforts to stop the gang violence should instead be focused on strengthening the Haitian police. Well, how's that been doing? It's not working, clearly. How do you strengthen the police force exactly, especially when some of them are corrupt as well? How exactly do you do that? It makes all the sense in the world for the UN peacekeepers to go in. It makes all the sense in the world. But Russia and China want to allow it to continue to struggle, continue to burn, and continue on a daily basis for people to die and suffer, especially women and young children getting involved in these gangs. And for women, that I've already talked about what happens to women, especially when they're under the control of these gangs. It's absolutely vile. Absolutely vile, to say the least. The world has turned its back on Haiti. It failed to rebuild after the earthquake, and it has led directly to the situation here today. Yeah. People poured money in, but nobody really helped it on its feet. If Haiti was in Europe, it would have been solved, but it is not. Yeah, because, again, we talk about geography's perspective. During World War II, only the East Prussian Germans knew what was happening. The rest of Germans did not care. And no one rebelled, just like now, and the world knew, and they said nothing, just like now. All sugarcoating positions of Israeli civilians, the vast majority of them, I saw interviews online and on news, most of them do not care and even support it, says Zhao. Yeah, it's pretty deplorable, guys. The next story I've got for you guys is from the Association Press. Why is that not level? Okay, that bit's level. Sorry about that. So the UN has transferred. The United States has transferred 11 Guantanamo detainees to Oman after more than 2 decades without charge. So one of the things that President Joe Biden was trying to do was close Guantanamo Bay and get the last of detainees out of there before Trump comes in as presidency. I don't know if Donald Trump and the Trump administration are going to use Guantanamo Bay. Something tells me, because of the kind of demeanor that he and his people have, I can see them going back to using it again in full force. But here's the key word here: without charge. Yeah. So this is people without charge. So apparently there's a couple of Yemenis people. Apparently they are might have links to Houthis, the Houthi rebel government, Houthi rebels in Yemen. And I believe that's where the link is, but but again, without charging them. So it's pretty despicable what the US does here at Guantanamo. That is for sure. So the Pentagon has said on Monday that it had transferred 11 Yemenis men to Oman this week after holding them for more than 2 decades without charge at the US naval base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. 20 years without charge. The transfer was the latest and biggest push by the Biden administration in its final week to clear Guantanamo of the last remaining detainees there who were never charged with a crime. This latest release brings the total number of men detained at Guantanamo to 15. That's the fewest since 2002, when George W. Bush administration turned Guantanamo into a detention site for mostly Muslim men taken into custody around the world in what the US called its war on terror. The US invasions of Afghanistan, Iraq, and military and covert operations elsewhere followed the September 11, 2001 Al-Qaeda attack. The men in the latest transfer included Shukri at Al-Hag, who had undergone repeated hunger strikes and hospitalizations at Guantanamo to protest his 21 years in prison. Preceded by 2 years of detention and torture in the CIA custody, according to US-based Center for Constitutional Rights. There is no such. You have no rights when you're in Guantanamo. It's a vile place. Yeah, I wonder how much they were tortured as well, Rosemary. But the problem is that because it's because of where it is, they can get away with it. There's no rules or laws where they are. Rights groups and some lawmakers have pushed successive U.S. administrations to close Guantanamo, or failing that, release all the detainees never charged with a crime. Guantanamo held about 800 detainees at its peak. The Biden administration and administrations before said they were working on lining up suitable countries willing to take those never charged detainees. Many of those stuck at Guantanamo were from Yemen, a country split by war with its capital held by Iranian allied Houthi militant groups. The Sultanas of Oman on the east edge of the Arabian Peninsula did not acknowledge taking in the prisoners early Tuesday. Officials in the country did not respond to questions from the Associated Press. The key Western allies has taken some 30 prisoners in the past since the founding of the prison. However, those prisoners have been released in circumstances unexplained by Oman. 2 Afghans once held by Oman returned to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan in February. 1 Yemeni died in Oman after being told he and 27 others would be reprimanded to Yemen. The British activist group Cage International had said. And faced with little choice, 26 of the men and their families returned to Yemen after being pressured by the Oman government, which offered them each £700,000 as compensation, the group said. It wasn't immediately clear what happens to the 28th prisoner. The transfer announced Monday leaves 6 never charged men still being held at Guantanamo, 2 convicted and 1 sentenced inmate, and 7 others charged with the 2001 attacks, the 2000 bombing of the USS Cole, and the 2002 bombing in Bali, Indonesia. So there's still obviously men, but still people there. But whether they're going to transfer that out between now and Trump getting between now and the Trump administration coming in, it remains to be seen. Like, I would not be surprised in any way, shape, or form if Trump starts using it again. I can see him being, his administration and people within it, being vile enough to use it again. I really can. But like I said, I haven't seen the whole thing, so I don't know if anyone's asked Trump directly or if these team have been asked about, if his administration has been asked about whether they're going to can carry on basically removing and closing down Guantanamo, or if they're going to hold it up and maybe start using it again in the future. My hope is that they don't, and I'd be very concerned, to say the least, if they do on that as well. That is for sure. I'm just gonna have a quick look what you guys are saying in the chat. The world has turned its back on Haiti. Yep. I wonder how much. America put sugar on bread. America puts sugar on their bread. They are weird. They put sugar on their bread? That's very odd. That sounds weird to me. That sounds weird to me. Yeah. I've read most of those comments. Okay, guys, we've got a couple more articles for you guys. Before I've got funny memes as well for you guys later on as well. I hope you guys enjoy them as well. But before we cover the other 3 stories here, I've got a funny video for you guys. So this will obviously make more sense if you have WhatsApp. If you use WhatsApp, you will know how it works. But for those who don't know, it's basically like it's basically where you can have group chats with a bunch of people, basically like Discord, so thing. So this video is from Foil and Arms, and I've never played this on the channel as well for you guys, so hopefully you guys will get a laugh out of this one. It's called "It's Impossible to Leave a WhatsApp Group," so I hope you guys find this one entertaining indeed.
Oh, bloody WhatsApp group. Wait, that's it, I'm leaving it.
So you want to leave the WhatsApp group?
You want to leave the WhatsApp
He
group?
wants to leave the WhatsApp group.
Yes.
And why?
Why are you leaving?
Why, Kevin, why?
Well, there's just so many messages.
We're your friends.
Don't you like your friends?
No, I like my friends, yeah.
Don't you like Saturday morning frisbee?
Well, yeah, but it's not about frisbee anymore. It's just got tons of memes and gifs and... Does anybody know a good plumber? It's like every time I open my phone, there's 300 unread messages.
It's just banter.
Everyone likes banter.
Well, no, it was Jen's birthday last month. I mean, like 75 identical messages all wishing her a happy birthday.
And what's the matter with that?
Don't you want her to have a good day?
Oh, yeah, sure, but I hardly even know her. I mean, she's in my phone as Jen Frisbee.
You know what? You can leave. That's fine. We don't mind.
Oh, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah, no one's standing in your way.
Oh, okay.
But you know what'll happen then?
What will happen then?
Everyone will talk about you.
Why did he leave?
What's his problem? Doesn't he like us? Something we said.
Oh, no.
On and on it'll go.
And you won't even know what they're saying.
Because you left.
Don't go.
No, it doesn't matter. I've had enough, okay? I'm leaving.
Fine, but you can't go now.
Why not?
Well, Max is just writing something. If you go now, he'll take it personally.
Poor Max.
What has he got against Max?
He doesn't like Max.
No, I like Max.
Well, that's not what Max is going to think.
It doesn't matter. Look, I've got to go. There's never going to be a good time.
Well, then how are you going to hear about Frisbee if you leave the group?
But they send me a text message.
Will they?
A text message? No one uses regular texts anymore.
But they'll call me then.
Call you? On a phone? Be reasonable.
Remember what happened when Darren left the group?
Who?
Exactly.
No, Darren. I remember Darren. I went to school with him. He's one of my friends.
When was the last time you saw Darren at Frisbee?
Oh, no. I was meant to call him.
Oops.
Ow.
No, I'm going. Where's the exit button?
So that's it, you're just gonna leave?
Yeah, the settings.
You're not even going to write anything. Just go. Wow.
Chat settings.
You know all it's gonna say is, Kevin left, that's it.
That's cold, Kevin.
Notification settings.
That's all we're getting after all this time.
So cold, Kevin.
There it is, yes.
You can never leave, Kevin. Never!
You can never leave! How dare you leave! I love that bit at the end when he's just like, you'll never leave! That was very good. Very nice one there from Foil and Arms. Do check them out, Foil and Arms, on their YouTube channel. Check out whenever they go on tour as well. They're absolutely fantastic. Those guys are absolutely fantastic stuff. They've got over 1 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. Absolutely delighted for them. They do great stuff. Great stuff, guys. So just before I go to the next article, guys, I just remind you, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media so others are notified of this live stream. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. Help me get to 2,500 subscribers. That is the next goal now that we've reached over 2,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who has helped me get there. It is greatly appreciated. But the next goal now is to reach 2,500. We'll see how far we can get, if we can do that by the end of the year, or perhaps maybe we can go further. We'll have to wait and see. But if you're not a subscriber and you do find the content informative and helpful to you, please consider subscribing. But if you want to go one step further and finally support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member as well. Being a YouTube member gets you access to custom emojis like the gang behind me, such as Ollie, Cash Dummy, and Pingu, which we'll see them in a bit as well. You also get access to members community tabs. I've been posting quite a few members community posts this week here. Some of you guys may have seen as well. Whenever you comment on my videos, you also get a response from me. It takes a couple of days, but I normally respond whenever you comment on any of my videos as well as a member. And also, if you're a 199 member, you get early access to additional content as well. And also, other ways you can find support me is with a super chat, like Steve McMorrin has, with another $2 New Zealand dollars there. Thank you so much, Steve. Steve has been very generous today. He's given 3 super chats already. If anybody wants to chip in and help reach the super chat goal today, which I don't know how long it's got on it. How long has the goal got? The goal is ended in 6 minutes, guys. So if anybody wants to help get it over the line for a Q&A live stream on Friday, just be as cheap as £2 if you want to help me get over that line. It'd be greatly appreciated. So thank you guys all so much for all your support. Do check out as well this week. Lots of Patreon and Rumble content is dropping this week as well. Additional content on them as well. So do consider checking them out as well. And do consider joining the free Discord community as well on there. Link for all that is in the description, guys. So let's move on, guys, to another story. About another Trump, just not the orange one, the other one. This is from Sky News. Donald Trump Jr. is to visit Greenland, officials say, after President-elect Trump suggested taking control of the island. The President-elect Donald Trump has previously expressed interest in buying the island during his first term in the White House and said in December that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity. Now, now we laugh and joke about this possibility of him buying Greenland or invading Greenland. So what is the real reason behind this, guys? Well, the obvious reason, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys will have clocked this, is oil. There's resources here. There are resources on this island. There are resources under this island that basically private companies and corporations want to capitalize on. That's what this is about. This is nothing to do with the land itself. This is nothing to do with the land itself. This is about the resources that Greenland may potentially have under it. That's what all this is about. This is nothing to do from strategic positions. This is all to do, like everything, guys, it is to do with money. It's always about money. That's what it always is. That's what it always is. It's so frustrating. And I just wish, guys, that they just leave the country alone. I just wish they would leave them alone. You know, they just want to keep pushing this narrative, and I know it sounds daft, but I really do fear for them. I really do think that Donald Trump is stupid enough to do something like this. I just think he's just stupid enough. I just think he might be mad enough to do it, guys. I really think so. Stephen Banker, thank you so much for your £2 super chat. I really appreciate your support. And Stephen Moore, thank you so much for another 2 separate super chats as well. We have reached the goal. So yes, I will be doing a live stream this Friday, a Q&A one. Of course I will do one, Steve. Don't be so silly. We will definitely do one on Friday, 7 o'clock. I will set that up at some point. I'll set it up at some point during the week just to get it prepared. And I'll put down a Q&A post, and I'll put down a Q&A one on Discord as well. So if you guys want to add questions, and we could talk about anything you want on that. So we'll be doing that Friday, 7 o'clock. We'll definitely be doing that, guys. So thank you guys so much for the super chats. I really appreciate your support, guys. Thank you. It's very, very kind of you guys. I really appreciate your support. Yeah, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. So, yeah. So why is Donald Trump Jr. going there? So what is the reason why Donald Trump Jr. is going there? So I think, and we'll find out in the short. So I think he's going to have serious discussions. I know it sounds daft, but I think they're going to have serious discussions about the thing is what America wants is they want the resources. They want to be able to drill. They want to be able to get resources from Greenland. And basically, what Donald Trump Jr. This is what I'm anticipating. This is what I'm predicting. My anticipation and prediction is that America are basically saying, look, we want the resources. We don't have to buy the land from you, but if you let us drill, baby drill, we will allow you guys to continue doing what you're doing. And I think that's generally what this is about. This is what it's about. And I'm very fearful of that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about all of this. That it's not to do with oil. That it's not to do with drilling. And I hope this whole thing is a massive joke and it never comes to fruition. But I think the only reason Donald Trump Jr. is being sent there is to have serious discussions. I really think there is something going there, because like we're laughing, we joke about this, him buying Greenland. No, I think he's generally serious about this. So Donald Trump Jr. set to for Greenland days after his father Donald Trump floated the idea of taking control of the Arctic island. Greenland's head of foreign affairs, Mr. Kisk, said Mr. Trump Jr. will be arriving for a private visit on Tuesday, Danish broadcaster DR have reported. He added that there were no inquiries about meeting with the island's government, while the source told Reuters the 47-year-old would be shooting video content for a podcast. You're going to say that... Really? Really? I'm not buying that. Donald Trump's Jr.'s visit come after his father repeated an earlier view that the US would own or control Greenland, an autonomous territory of Denmark, after winning the US election. So what? Is he going to do a podcast on the outskirts of the town, or on the town, basically saying, we need to buy this country? No, is that what it's going to be? The President-elect had previously expressed interest in buying the island during his first term in the White House and said in late December that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity. Greenland's Prime Minister Mute Ejel dismissed Mr. Trump's suggestion, saying, Greenland is ours. We are not for sale, and we will never be for sale. We will not lose our long struggle for freedom. The world's largest island sits between the Atlantic and the Arctic Ocean, and is 80% covered by ice sheets, and is home to a large US military base. With a population of just 57,000, Greenland boasts minerals, oils, and natural gas wealth. There you go, guys. Global warming has been melting its ice and exposing rich reserves, which are reported to include uranium and rare earth elements. Again, I told you, it's always about money. Greenland has gained autonomy from Denmark in 1979, but its economy is reliant on fishing and annual subsidies from Copenhagen. And hours after Mr. Trump floated calls for the US to take ownership of the island, NATO member Denmark announced plans to boost defense spending for Greenland with a stronger presence in the Arctic by at least $1.5 billion. Respectfully, Denmark, I just don't think boosting the defense spending is going to stop America taking Greenland, if I'm honest. I just don't think so. I'm sorry. I just have to be realistic about it. It also comes after Denmark's king, Frederik X, updated his royal coat of arms, prominently featuring symbols of both Greenland and the Faroe Islands. Very, very nice there as well. That's a very nice thing. We talked about that I think we even spoke about that on the Discord last night as well. The Danish royal family said on its website that the Faroe Islands and Greenland have been given their own fields, which strengthen their prominence of the Commonwealth. Lars, a royal family expert, told Danish news outlet TV2 that featuring the territory showed that they are part of the Danish realm, and that is not up for discussion. Yeah, they are part of Denmark because they don't. Because of the population there, and they as it said in there, they rely heavily on Denmark as well. That's a very important point to remind people. Like, yes, they do have their sovereignty, but they need Denmark as well. There, Greenland is indirectly a part of the EU via Denmark. I would walk slowly, Mr. Trump. Yeah, it's not just Denmark; it's the entire EU. Trump Jr. is dumb. Has he, Dad? Good to see family traditions secured. actually Greenland part of the European Union? I wasn't aware of that. But either way, I would just think that from that point of view, it does seem a bit weird that Greenland is part of the European Union. But then, like again, it's just there's only 57,000 people living on the land, and the US if the US has already a large military base, but like I said, we've said this before, and you will hear this from lots of people. This is all about resources. This is all about getting richer, getting more and more richer. All these oil and gas companies and minerals. This is all about getting richer, taking it all for themselves. This is what America wants to do. Whether they'll be able to do it or not is another thing. And I suppose a question will start coming up from the EU's perspective if you guys keep pointing this out. Well, why doesn't the EU take advantage of it? Well, it wouldn't be right. But it'll be a discussion I'm sure we'll have again and again, I'm sure. So, moving to Canada, guys. A story that has kind of gone quiet now, obviously, since it's been made official. It's from the BBC. Canada's Justin Trudeau cites internal battles as he ends his 9-year run. So, under growing pressure from his own party, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced he will step down and end his 9-year stretch as leader. Obviously, Canadian politics is not my department of expertise, but I think after a while, when you've been in power for such a long time, and 9 years is a very long time, things do get stale, and sometimes it's hard to get ideas going. I know there's political infighting. There's been internal pressure as well. I know there's been that because I've read on that as well. But even if there weren't those, after a while things get stale, and there's a need for change. A prime example is Nicola Sturgeon of the SNP. Like, even though she has been an absolute rock for the SNP for such a long period, eventually you need new fresh blood to come in, and that's exactly going to be the same thing for Canada. Is this the right time? I honestly don't know. I know obviously he's finance minister, I believe it was, resigned not too long ago, which put him in immense strain. Many people were saying the writing was on the wall for him as well. But times have changed, and unfortunately, this change has had to come. But my hope is that whoever takes over, whoever comes to the new party, whatever happens at the election, it's for the benefit of the people of Canada. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what they want, what kind of future that they want now. Justin will not longer be their leader. What's the next step for Canada? That's the questions now that need to be asked. So, under growing pressure from his own party, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced he will step down and end his 9-year stretch as leader. Trudeau said that he will stay in office until his Liberal Party can choose a new leader, and that Parliament would be prolonged or suspended until 24th of March. He said, "This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it's become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option for that election," he said during a press conference on Monday. Trudeau's personal unpopularity with Canadians has become an increasing drag on his party's fortunes in advance of federal elections later this year. "Last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision, and I'm sharing it with you today," he told a news conference in Ottawa. "I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust nationwide comprehensive process," he said. The president of the Liberal Party, Sachik Mehra, said a meeting of the party's board of directors would be held this week to begin the process of selecting a new leader. In a statement, he added, "Liberals across the country are immensely grateful to Justin Trudeau for more than a decade of leadership to our party and the country. As Prime Minister, his vision delivered transformational progress for Canadians," he said, citing programs his government has implemented like the Canadian Child Benefit and the establishment of dental care and pharmacare coverage for some medication. The Conservative leader, Pierce Polo, said nothing has changed following Trudeau's resignation. Every Liberal MP and leadership contender supported everything Trudeau did for 9 years, and now they want to trick voters by swapping in another Liberal to keep ripping off Canadians for another 4 years, just like Justin Trudeau wrote on X. Trudeau, 53, has faced growing calls to quit from inside his Liberal Party, which ramped up in December when the Deputy Prime Minister and longtime ally Christina Freeland abruptly resigned. In a public resignation letter, Freeland cited US President-elect Donald Trump's threats of tariffs on Canadian goods, and they accused Trudeau of not doing enough to address the grave challenge posed by Trump's proposals. So this is it's entirely possible that things ramped up even more by direct consequence of Americans voting in Donald Trump. That sucks. Trump has promised to impose a tax tariff on 25% of Canadian goods, which economists have warned it would significantly hurt Canada's economy unless the country takes steps to increase security on its shared border. Trudeau said on Monday that he hoped Freeland would have continued as Deputy Prime Minister, but she chose otherwise. Canada has since announced it will implement sweeping new security measures along the country's US border in response to the threat. And in an online post, Trump claimed that pressure on the tariffs would lead to Trudeau's resignation and repeated his jib that Canada should become the 51st state. If Canada merges with the US, there will be no tariffs. Taxes will go way down, and they will be totally secure from the threat of Russian and Chinese ships that are consistently surrounding them, he wrote. Trump, I hate to tell you this, but there's no Chinese ships surrounding Canada. I mean, there may be some. I don't think they're going to be. I just don't. I think he's just talking out of his backside with the ships there. Since 2019, the Liberal Party is governed as a minority party. Following Freeland's resignation, Trudeau lost the backing of parties they had previously helped keep the Liberals in power. The left-leaning New Democrats, who have had a support agreement with the Liberals and the Quebec Nationalist Party blog Québécois. The largest opposition party, the Conservatives, have maintained a significant two-digit lead over the Liberals in polls for months, suggesting that if the global general election were held today, the Liberals could be in for a significant defeat. Liberals will now choose a new leader, take the party into the next election, which must be held before October the 20th. A senior government official told the BBC that the race is an open contest and that the Prime Minister will fully stay out of the process, leaving it to Liberal Party members to decide their future. Speaking to reporters, the blog's Québécois leader, Yves Francois, suggested that an early election be called once the Liberals choose their new leader. And I'll read this bit as well, actually. I'm just a bit conscious of the time. Trudeau is the son of Canadian Prime Minister Pierce Trudeau, who dominated the country's politics in the 1970s and 80s. The youngest Trudeau became Prime Minister after a Liberal Party won a sweeping majority in 2015 amid a promise to usher in a new progressive era of sunny ways. His record included a commitment to gender inequality in his cabinet, which continued to be a 50% women, a progress on reconciliation with the Indigenous people in Canada, bringing in a national carbon tax, implementing a free tax child benefit for families, and legalizing recreational cannabis. Assembly on First Nations National Chief Cindy Woodhouse Nesbitt praised Trudeau's track record of Indigenous issues following his resignation, saying in a statement that he has taken meaningful steps to address issues that matter to the First Nations. While much work remains, these actions lay a foundation for future governments to build upon. And clouds begin to hang over Trudeau's government in recent years, for which weathers a series often of self-inflicted scandals, including a controversy over a deal with a Canadian firm facing corruption charges, and photos that emerged of the Prime Minister wearing brown face makeup prior to his time in politics. Vaccine mandates and other restrictions were also met with fierce backlash by some Canadians, leading to the Freedom Convoy truck protests in early 2022. Trudeau eventually used unprecedented emergency powers to remove the protesters. Canada began to emerge from the pandemic. Housing and food prices skyrocketed, and his government pulled back on ambitious immigration targets as public services began to show strain. And this, like everything post-pandemic, eventually it all comes back to it, doesn't it? By late 2022, approval ratings were at its lowest. Just 22% of the Canadians said they thought he was doing a good job, according to one polling tracker. In Ottawa, a small group of protesters danced outside Parliament Hill in celebration of his resignation. One passerby, however, thinks he said things were fine under Trudeau's watch. I'm a carpenter, Hamas Gomada, who is from British Columbia, told the BBC. I mind my own business, I get my wages, I pay my bills, it's been okay. Another Canadian, Maurice, said it feels like the end of an era, and asked if she feels any sense of sadness. She replied, no, it's the right thing. It is the right thing to them. Obviously, like I say, I wish Canada well whoever their new president, whoever will be the new leader, how the contest will go. Obviously, I'll have some odd shorts here and there about when it comes down to it, of the race as well. But you know, I wish him good health. and all the best, because he's been there for a long time, and obviously because of Canada was obviously has had its trust with him for a long time. But they want change. They want some kind of change, and that's what they're going to get now. So we will see over time how they do, guys. So this last story I've got for you guys, hopefully I'll be able to get through it within the next 10-15 minutes. It's from France 24. So South Korean investigators have secured a new arrest warrant for President Yoon. Yeah, so the last one expired, guys. So I was waiting to see today if they got a new arrest warrant, and they have. So this came through today. So a new South Korean court has approved, a new arrest warrant for the impeached President Yoon Sung-young after he resisted an attempt by police last week. Anti-graft investigators are seeking to detain Young after his botched bid to impose martial law in the country's early December. So I'm just going to read some of this, guys. So South Korean's anti-graft investigators secured a new court order arrest warrant today, Tuesday, for impeached President Yoon Sung-sal, who failed martial law bid, threw the country into turmoil. And the former star prosecutor refused questioning 3 times after he bungled December the 3rd martial law decree, plunged South Korea into its worst political crisis in decades. As anti-graft officials and police got their fresh warrants from the same court that issued the first order, Young remained held up in his residence, surrounded by hundreds of guards preventing his detention. And the arrest warrant re-requested for the suspect Young was issued today in this afternoon, the Joint Investigation Headquarters said in a statement. Good. This keeps the pressure on him, and the pressure needs to be kept on him as much as possible, because as long as he's president, as long as he has some kind of power, he is a threat to the country. Seoul's Western District Council declined to confirm when contacted by AFP. The Corruption Investigation Office, the CIO, which is leading the probe into the president, have kept secret the length of the warrant it requested after the initial 7-day one expired. If investigators are able to detain Young, he would become the first sitting South Korean president to be arrested. But they would have 48 hours to either request another arrest warrant in order to keep him in detention, or be forced to release him. The anti-graft officials have sought more time and help because of the difficulties they have faced, including being met by hundreds of security forces when they enter Young's presidential residence on Friday. He's been investigated on charges of insurrection, and if formally arrested and convicted, faces prison or, at worst, the death penalty. So he could potentially face the death penalty for it as well. His lawyers repeatedly said that the initial warrant was unlawful, pledging to take further legal action against it. They have argued that the CIO lacks the authority to investigate because the insurrection is not included in the list of offences it can probe. The vibrant East Asian democracy has found itself in uncharted territory, regardless of the outcome of Young's case. If its sitting president will have been arrested or would have been evaded court ordered detention. The CIO chief Ong Dong-won apologized on Tuesday for the failed first West attempt, saying that he was heartbroken. I must express my sincere apologies to the public for the failure to execute the arrest warrant due to security measures taken by the Presidential Security Service, he told lawmakers at the National Assembly. Young's presidential guards refused to budge during the 6-hour standoff at his residence on Friday. The CIA was set up less than 4 years ago and has fewer than 100 staff who are yet to prosecute a single case. Naturally, they have no prior experience with arrests, let alone something as significant as arresting the president, said Young Bung-nam, president of the Lawmakers for the Democratic Society, who is not involved in the investigation. South Korea's opposition Democratic Party told AFP on Monday that he had submitted a legal complaint against the acting president, Chao Sang-mok, for dereliction of duty after he failed to intervene as they requested. South Korea's Constitutional Court has slated January the 14th for the start of Young's impeachment trial, which would proceed in his absence if he does not attend. Local media reported that he is likely to appear on the opening day, but Young's lawyers told AFP his appearance was still undecided. If he appears, they should be able to nab him. They should try and nab him. Former President Rong Min-hyung and Park Jin-hyung never appeared for their impeachment trials in 2004 and 2016-2017 respectively. The court has up to 180 days to determine whether to dismiss Young or restore him as president. There would be public outrage if he was restored as president. Opposition party lawmaker Young Lin-kao told local media Young's residence was turning into a fortress, claiming guards were installing barbed wire and vehicle barricades. Oh my god. Many supporters have also camped outside his residence despite freezing weather. While officials have been able to get Young, the Joint Investigation Team has gone off the top of military officials behind the martial law plan. He's bunkering down, hunkering down in his home. That's what he's doing, guys. He's hunkering down. I will continue to keep an eye on this because I do think this is this is really important story because of what happened in South Korea, because of what he's done, and what outcome eventually will become of this, because this is very serious, obviously. A very serious and a very concerning story, to say the least. You know, South Korea's future hangs in the balance on this. You know, there's its people right now are very concerned, and it's a really bad time considering North Korea have been ramping up. My fear is that North Korea could if they really want to, they can take advantage of the situation if they wanted to, and I'm very, very, very fearful of that. I don't think they will, but I'm very concerned, to say the least. Doc Davis, good to see you there, and Simon says 55, and anybody else lurking in the chats. Hope you guys are all doing well. So, guys, we come to the end of the news stories. So we've got one final thing before we see ourselves out. Obviously, I will catch you guys. I know I missed Max's last live stream last year. I couldn't make it, unfortunately, but I will be in the chat for you for Max's live stream at 8:30. So do join me there when he goes live. But just before we head out here on the Snowflake Watch, we have our funny memes, and I've got 5 funny memes for you guys here. So I hope you guys enjoy these ones here. A bit of fun, bit of laughter, guys. So hopefully you'll get a giggle out of these. So here are the 5 funny memes. This is something that we normally do here on the Snowflake Corner for reference as well. So here they are, the 5 funny memes, starting with this one. They say cows are bad for the environment, but all they do is eat plants and fart. Kind of like vegans. He's hoping 2025 will be better then. Holy crap, is that Godzilla? I think my cats have been watching too much Disney. You have failed me, Mustafa. He looks so innocent. You think that the vase broke on its own. Look at those eyes. It's innocent. It's got to be innocent. It's got to be innocent. He's too cute to be a bad kitty. I got it! I got the spider, guys! I hit it! I got it! And just, I got the spider. You tore the house down, but I got the spider. You tore the house down, but I got the spider! It was a threat to me. I got the spider. Victory! Got the spider. Success! Got the spider, guys. Yes, it cost me the house, but we got the spider. Thank the Lord. Hope you guys enjoyed those funny memes. Got a bit of a laugh out of them anyway, at least, guys. So, yeah, definitely a bit of fun there. So, guys, just a quick reminder just before you head out. Tomorrow, I will be hosting Prime Minister's Questions at 12 o'clock. So, do join me for that tomorrow at 12 noon. So, do join me there if you want to see Prime Minister's Questions, the first one of 2025. And then I'll also have the Snowflake Watch at 8 p.m. where we watch and react to certain clips online. There's plenty to cover. That is for sure tomorrow evening in the UK. So, do join me for that. It'll be a very interesting one. I am going to do a live stream on Thursday. I haven't decided what it'll be, but I will be doing a live stream on that day as well. And we will have a Q&A live stream on Friday as well. Thanks to you guys helping me reach the target for today of 5 super chats. Well, we got 6 thanks to Stephen Banker as well on top. So I want to say a massive thank you guys for coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you so much, Stephen McMorrin and Stephen Banker, for your super chats. Very generous of you guys today. I really appreciate your support. It really does help support the channel when you guys do that. It really does keeps the channel going. And you guys turning up in the live streams and chatting with me really does make a massive difference as well. So thank you guys for giving your time, for coming along as well. And I hope you found the news that I covered today informative and helpful to you. I will see you guys over on Max's live stream. It'll be starting in about 15 minutes. So do go and check out Max's live stream, and I hope to see you guys there. I'm going to go and have dinner just before it starts, but just before I head out, we must acknowledge the group behind me because it'd be rude if I didn't. Ollie the Octopus here as well. He Tony's Frowned Upside Down. He wants to say thank you for all your support, guys, today. Appreciate it. Pingu as well. He's very pleased about. He's been on the phone with Putin this morning. Apparently, he wouldn't tell me what though. And Cash Dummy has returned from his absence yesterday as well. Apparently, he was in Germany on vacation. Apparently, but he was back. He's back today. So he said it was very, very cold over there as well. So it's good to see the gang back and the orb and the lava lamp all empowered. So just before I go, guys, I have one last thing to say. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. If you're watching on Twitch, do hit that follow button as it does support me on there as well. But if you're here on YouTube, hit that like button, share across social media, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. But if you want to go one step further and financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.